I could also, wow. Hey everybody, welcome back to Luxinda's Other Obsessions channel. We are going to be playing with a new product today. A few videos ago I mentioned Jesmonite and my Zuri equivalent of that. This is it here. This is one of them. In order to use this product and Jesmonite, they're brand names, so same thing, only called different things, but Jesmonite and Zuri acrylic resin are the same stuff. And in order to use this, you need both the powder and the activator liquid. It's like a part A and a part B. You gotta have both or it won't work. And we made some things with that. But recently, a company in the UK has come out with the best version yet. And what they did was they took the powder and they took the activator liquid and they managed to take the activator properties of the liquid and fuse them into the powder. So you don't need the liquid anymore, you just need the powder. And this amazing new compound is called Aqua Cast. And I got some. Yeah! It wasn't cheap because they ship from the UK, but it was worth it. So this is it. I did a preliminary experiment. Maybe you can tell I also used my Brusho watercolor crystals. Also from the UK. We're going all in Brit today. So I got the Aqua Cast and I wanted to try something. The neat part about it is you get just the powder, because everything's in the powder, and you activate it with regular old tap water. The other neat thing is, even though they have a suggested amount of tap water that will work with the powder, you can actually use any amount of tap water you want. And the more you put in, the longer the work time is, because the runnier it is, the longer it takes to set up. And even then, the setup time is like 45 minutes. I mean, this is pretty amazing stuff. It looks like plaster. It is not plaster. This is an acrylic resin product. So it is amazing when it's cured. What I did here was I took 3 silicone molds and into them I put Brusho crystals. They are really, really, really intensely pigmented, dry watercolors. I put some Brusho crystals in each one of the 3 molds, and then I took 100 grams of powder for each one, and I mixed in different amounts of water to see what would happen. Now I kind of botched this experiment. Obviously they do react differently. This is 100 grams of powder with 35 grams of water. That's the recommended amount. This is 100 grams of powder with 50 grams of water, and this is 100 grams of powder with 75 grams of water. And the reason I say I botched this experiment is because I used cool colors here and warm colors here, and what I forgot is the Brusho crystals, all the different colors react differently to water. I should have used the exact same colors of Brusho crystals in each one. That would have been a truer test. So that's what we're going to do today. Here are my 3 molds. I washed them out and I let them dry, and then I sprayed them with some mold release. I have my Brusho. So this is the Scarlet Red. I have twigged Anthony Cram into this new stuff. This just came out like a month ago. He did a couple Jesmonite videos. I will link to those videos below if you want to see what he did. And they were very popular. They got a lot of views. And I thought because of that, he might be curious to try this stuff out, see if it really is any better than the Jesmonite or easier to use. So hopefully in another couple months, probably, we may see an Aqua Cast video from him. Okay. Crystals are ready. I'm going to put this aside. Okay, so here's our scale. I'm going to measure out the powder into 3 paper cups. Here is the powder. I have decanted it from the container they sent it to me in, which was a big plastic bag. I put it in this Tupperware container with a spoon. And I have, show you here, printed off the directions, linked to everything below, but they give you a very nice set of instructions. Plus, this stuff is really easy to use. I see this catching on hugely when it gets out to the public. If you are in the UK and you happen to see this and you want to try it, you get free shipping. So take advantage of that, because it's not free shipping anywhere else. But it is in the UK. Clearly this cup is too small. This is my fault. This has 100 grams in it, so I will transfer. It still says 100. So there's our first one. Now we'll do it again. This stuff does take colorants really, really, really well, and we will be doing some of that. Not in this video. I want to do this test here. I do plan on doing more with this, and I'm going to test different colorants. It will basically take any colorant that's water-based, which is what made me think of Brusho in the first place. I'm going to test acrylic inks. I'm going to test acrylic paint. I'm going to test Cast and Craft opaque pigments. I have Bombay ink. We can try that. I have some other things as well. So I'm going to gather a whole bunch of different colorants. That'll be in another video. I have some tap water. This is well water. I'm not going to use anything special. And I am going to mix in, I'm going to change it. Initially I did the 35 grams because that's the suggested amount to go with 100 grams of powder. So I figured I'd do it right one time. I think 25 grams will work. That way we'll have 25, 50, and 75 with the water. So now I want to mix in 25 grams of water. I'm going to do these one at a time because once the water's added, you have to work relatively quickly. Here we go. There is a reason they suggest 35 grams. All right, tiny bit more. Oops. Number one. There's one. Tapping here just to get out the bubbles. $50 grams of liquid. I'm trying to pour very carefully so I don't disturb the crystals as much as I did in my test. All right, and finally, 75 grams. Now, this is going to be really runny and it's not all going to fit in the mold. This barely did. I'm just warning you, I probably won't pour it all in, but it will still work. That's the amazing part of this stuff. It will still work. So this is 75 grams. Last one. Okay. I have a little left. I'm just going to leave it here in the cup. We'll see what happens there. The nice thing about the runnier ones is the bubbles release better. Okay, we're going to come back in an hour and we'll see what's what. And we're back. Okay, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. I kind of lost track of time the way I do. And I wanted to show you where we are. This is completely set up. This is number one with a little bit less, just a little bit less than the recommended 35 grams of water. I ended up using 30 instead of 25. So this one is completely set up. So are these two, but you can't tell because the extra water that it didn't need for activation purposes is floating on the top. So it looks like it's not set up, but it is. This cup contains the leftover mixture that I didn't pour in here because I ran out of room. And it is completely solid at the bottom. So it's got water on top as well. So if we pour that off, there it is. Now it did crack because it had this in there and I just pulled it out. That put a split in it. This gets stronger as it sits and cures up. I'm going to lift the water off of these two so that we can unmold all three of them. All right, so keeping them in the proper order, I'm going to take them off the pan. And now we're going to unmold these, or demold them, which is correct. Is it unmold or demold? Because I use both. So here's number one. This was with approximately 30 grams of water. There are our warm Brusho crystals, and that looks like a stray blue one that got in there. This is number 2. This was 50 grams of water. And even though I tried to pour carefully, I still have a bald spot, and that's okay. Like I said, we can do something with that. And then this is number 3. This has 75 grams of water, and therefore I couldn't fill the mold. So this one's going to be a little lower to the table, but still a usable heart coaster. So as I sort of expected, just take that out. Oops, no, I've got blue on my finger. So that has a little blue streak in it. I am not going to wear, this is a test. Interestingly, I still pick up more movement in this one than I do in the one with more water. This has the most water of all, and more of the crystals seem to be sitting still in this one than this one. 30 grams, 50 grams, 75 grams of water. I'm probably going to call it here just to keep this from getting overly long. I wanted to introduce you to this amazing product. I'm so excited to have it. I've got quite a bit left that we can play with. So what I would love to hear from you is if you pop down to the comments section and let me know what you want me to try. I have a whole bunch of molds. I have the skull mold. I have the skull ashtray mold that produces something that looks like that. I have a ton of different tray molds. I have these pot molds that we used last time with this. Cute little animal molds. So I'm going to round up some interesting molds, and we're going to give these a try. What I would like to hear from you is which ones you're interested in seeing, if there are color combinations you're interested in seeing, if there are different colorants you want me to try using, acrylic paints, inks, cast and craft opaque pigments, Bombay inks. We've got tons of Brusho. I could actually mix Brusho in as well. I could also brush micas into the molds and pour the Aqua Cast onto that. So we have lots of potential opportunities here. Let me know what you'd like me to try, and we will come back and try pretty much anything you can suggest as long as I have the resources available to do it. So I hope to hear from you. Please comment, please like, please subscribe. Stay safe, everyone. I will see you in the next video.